Hey my friend, welcome to today's video. Today I want to share a story with you. A story of mine when I was homeless, living in my hammock for like 1.5 years in South America. And I already was talking a little bit about this story in previous videos, but just a little bit because I don't want to make my videos too long. I also want to make some sense out of it. I don't want to talk randomly about it. And I also just forget things because every time I talk about it and every time I go into my mind and try to remember, some more memories are popping up. And because it's so easy to forget, especially the good things, the small things. And even if you are in a shitty situation, there is always something good happening. But it's so easy to forget, especially the small positive stuff. And for me, that's really small stuff. Like, I don't know, for me, it's like if a bird comes very close to me, for example, or if a butterfly decides to sit on my hand, or if the sun hits a tree and the light is very beautiful, or a certain cloud formation, constellation, or the sound of the wind if you listen in nature when there if you are in a forest or if there are some trees. And yeah, it's beautiful. And to remember this and to even notice these small things, we have to be comfortable in the present moment. We have to come back over and over again into the present moment to experience all these things, to notice it. And the more we practice, the more we dive into the present moment, the more peace, the more joy, the more abundance we will experience. And we will notice this abundance, and it's evidence. I made this a video about evidence. We have to create evidence in our mind, and we also have to notice evidence of positivity, of things we want to see in our life. And that's like by collecting all these small positive things, these beautiful things, which gives us a special feeling, like a feeling of joy, gratitude, fun. And yes, and the reason why we forget so easy, it's because it's easier to remember bad stuff. It's easier to remember negative experiences and memories. And the reason for that is because we have a survival mode. We are born with survival mode. Normally, it's for our good, it's for our protection. But the thing is, in these days, I don't want to spread fear or something like that, but it's not a secret that there are very bad things happening on this planet also right now. And I want to raise their consciousness on the planet. I want to inspire, encourage, and show people that there are sometimes some traps. And for example, information information is used as a weapon on us. Not every information is bad, but certain institutions, certain people, they use information in form of media, for example, to bombard us on a daily basis with negativity, because these very, very rich families or institutions, they know that negativity sticks more to us than positivity, because it's a survival fact. Your body wants to notice. He sticks to everything negative because he thinks it's relevant for survival. That's and it creates a rush of adrenaline, fear, and stress hormones. And stress hormones are like the most addictive thing you can experience in your body. So you get addicted to your own emotions, even the emotions you don't like, your negative thoughts, and this biochemistry in your body. So I had a strong addiction with alcohol and drugs, and I'm really, really grateful for that because now I know what addiction is about. And the sad story is most people are addicted, but they don't know it. They don't realize it. And that's the thing about addiction. It's a tricky stuff. It's like brainwashing. You notice it when it's too late. Or not completely too late, maybe, but when it's very late, when you are into it. So that's why I talk about it. We should really be conscious about how we spend our attention, how much negativity we allow into us, how much news and stuff like that we are consuming. Because, yeah, it's just, it's destructive for us as a human. And if it's destructive for you, it's destructive for everyone. We are all connected. There is no single human being. Even if you are at home alone, you are I can feel you. There are very sensitive people. If we want to feel good, we need to take care of the collective. That's why I share also my videos. And it's not about avoiding negativity. It's about consuming consciously, to consume your stuff, whatever it is, consciously, and not too much from the bad stuff. And if you get negativity, to use it as a fuel. But you are an alchemist. You can transform it into something positive. And there is toxic negativity and toxic positivity. I don't talk about focus on positivity to avoid negativity and to entertain yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. I talk about to transform your limiting beliefs, to transform your negative emotions or negative news into something positive, to create something for you and for the collective. Because it's for you, it's also for the collective. Even if it's just for you, when it's elevating your emotions, when you feel good about something, we all can feel it. And maybe some people are not conscious about it. They don't feel it consciously, but some of them are. And yeah, that's really important because there are two ways to change your life. And I tried both of them. So until 2017, I was circling around, circling and circling in my own problems. I tried everything to get rid of my anxiety, stress disorder, of my depression, of my alcohol drug addiction, of my toxic environment. And no matter how much I tried, how hard I worked, we need to work 40 hours a week in our country normally. And I worked like 70, 80 hours a week. And still no solution. And yeah, I tried everything. Changing my place to live, making more money, yeah, changing my friends, but changing my relationship, but the same problems keep popping up over and over again. Sometimes it seemed to get better, but then always again shit was hitting the fan, and I thought, oh, life is happening again. But no, it's not just life happening. It's sometimes, if there is constantly some shit happening, we blame life. Oh, that's life. No, that's not life. Sometimes we are responsible for it. We are very powerful human beings. We can influence not just our own life, we can influence other lives. We can also influence the weather, so as a collective. So nobody told us these stories, but I know it from my own experiences. And so that's the thing. I try to change out of survival mode. If you are driven constantly by stress, if you are under pressure, because if you are under a lot of pressure, stress or fear, you need to change something. Like I said, if you want a massive change in your life, if you want to get rid of bad habits, addictions, abusive relationship, something like that, this needs effort and this needs energy. And if you do it out of survival mode, out of this urge, out of this pressure, we will create more of it. We will end up in the same cycle just with different people. It happens over and over for me, and I know so many people struggling exactly this way. And 2017, I got tired of it. I knew I tried everything. Nothing is working sustainably. There are small changes, but with nothing works sustainably. So I wanted to make a cut. I decided to go all in to everything it needs to make a change. And so I decided to leave my country. I sold everything. With the money, I paid back my loan. I got $2,500 left, something like that. I bought a hammock, a tarp, took my knife and some cooking stuff, some books, and my backpack, and bought a plane ticket to South America. And I flew to Paraguay. And after a few months, I ran out of money. I was already working from day one in South America. I was working, but I wasn't too happy. It was nice, but I wanted to go to another place. I wanted to change again to another project, and suddenly I was running out of money. And I met a couple. They had a lot of properties there. They had some bigger properties and some small properties, and they allowed me to stay for free on one of their small properties. And it was like a 12 acres, this property with barbed wire around. Um, and there were 7 cows or something like that. And I had a small water hole. The cows were drinking from this water hole, and I was washing myself in the water hole with the animals. And it was very flat land. This property was like this. It was a small hill. It started flat, a hill, and it ended flat. It was a few hundred meters long, like 500 meters and 100 meters, I think. And it was very, very dry. It was very, very hot. And it was very, very flat. I don't like flat places. I don't like flat countries so much. If it's a hot country, a very, very hot, dry, flat country, it's not my country. I grew up in a very rich nature. I grew up in the Alps, in mountains, beautiful mountains with a lot of drinking water, with a lot of fresh springs, mountain lakes. Beautiful, beautiful. Not too hot, very cold winters. I love it. And I ended up in my hammock there, and I was really frustrated. It was not, maybe you think, oh, young guy on his camping trip. No, it was definitely not a funny camping trip. That was pure survival. That was no joke, no money for buying food, no money for buying drinking water. And I was eating leaves, I was eating insects, I was eating natural herbs, I was eating. There was not so much. There was not so much. sometimes I didn't eat for weeks. It was really hard, and emotionally it was very difficult because I already started to work there, and but it doesn't fit to me, so I that's why I ended up in my hammock, and I tried everything. I tried to change my country, to surround myself with different people, and to give my best, and to make a sustainable change. And there I was, starving by, we had like 50 degrees Celsius in the shade, and there was like no shade on my property. I had two trees, a hammock, and a tarp, and it was burning. It was burning. In the sun, it was over 50 degrees Celsius. That's like in an oven. And yeah, it would be easy for me to procrastinate, to fall into depression again, to kill myself with alcohol and drugs, especially with cocaine. It's like for free there. It's everywhere, and it's pure, very very dangerous. And yeah, I had my dark moments. I had my dark moments because I felt so stuck. I felt so stuck. And I remembered because I started to study holistic health, and I had a very great teacher, still have for since over 10 years. It's a famous doctor from Europe, and he told me about law of attraction and the duality of things, of life, and about my emotions. And as long as I think, feel, and act the same way, nothing will change. And so I understood that I need to change my inner world to make a sustainable change in my outside world. And that allowed me to build up a strong mindset that I started with nothing. I was with living with cows, with animals on a field, that's mm, I didn't have money for equipment or stuff. So I tried everything to nurture positivity inside of me, because you have seeds inside of you. And with seeds, I mean seeds of passion, of creativity, something you like, something which gets you excited. And I want to use this story as an inspiration, because I don't have money, but I found seeds. For example, I love plants, and I thought, okay, there are no fucking trees. I need I need to plant things. So I started to plant bananas, papayas, pineapple, uh, many oranges, mandarins, mandarina. How do you call it? I planted eucalyptus, lapacho, kiri trees, and many different species. I planted so many trees there, and there was no rain. It started in 2017. When I arrived, there was the last rain. They have a rain season 2 times a year, but 2017 it rained the last time when I arrived. Then it stopped raining for 4 years. It's really, it's not a joke situation. That was, the whole country was suffering. The animals had not enough drinking water. There was not rain, so the grass couldn't grow. The grass dried out. The the cows, they were starving. They were dying because they had no food. They got sick. The people also, the prices went up. It was, wells was drying out. People had problems with drinking water. So it was not just me suffering, it was the whole country was suffering. And I still, I was hungry, but I still did something what kept me alive, what gives me joy, freedom, inner peace, and that's working with plants, for example. I made my green juices. I mixed it with water, I smashed everything, natural herbs, aloe vera, and stuff like that. I drank it. A cactus. There were a lot of tunas. In Spanish, they call it tunas. So cactus, I think. I also ate cactus. There are a lot of water. They have a lot of water, and my neighbors they were watching me. And one time, my neighbors they invited me, and they there were two neighbor girls, and the two neighbor girls they asked me, "What do you drink with your green grass and green stuff?" And I told them I don't eat animal products. I just live from nature, from fruits, vegetable, and herbs, natural herbs. And they asked me everything. They were so interested. And one of these girls, they were a little gordito, and she wanted to lose weight. And I told her, I teach her how to make green juices for weight loss and for nurturing your body with minerals and vitamins. And it was so funny. Suddenly, some of my neighbors they all started to work out. They started to get in shape, drinking green juice in a land where they just eat beef. They just eat meat because they forgot their roots. They forgot where they came from. In the last war, all the men was killed, and the next generation, they didn't have any idea where they come from. They didn't know how to make their own uh, medicine and how to grow their food properly, and so they started to starve. And then the Europes and a lot of countries came in for big agriculture. They cut down the rainforest and they started, yeah, cultivating meat and soya beans and shit like that. And it's killing everything. It's killing the environment and it's killing the people. The people got sick. All the it's everyone has diabetes. Everyone gets fat, and they live from Coca-Cola and white bread and meat. Everyone gets sick, and so I did just what I loved, and I nurtured my positivity. I just felt good. I had nothing. I had nothing. I had to beg for drinking water. And over time, I just kept enjoying myself, my topics, and people got interested. And so, like I said, I teach them different things. Even one of my neighbors, they had cancer, 65 years old or something. He was so struggling with chemotherapy and stuff. And he noticed that I smoked weed, and I also took to treat my depression. I used magic mushrooms or psychedelic mushrooms, and I know a lot about these things. I studied especially psychedelic drugs. I am an expert in psychedelic drugs, definitely. And because still, since I overcame my addiction, I never would say drugs or alcohol is bad. It's the way how we use it. I think alcohol is the most destructive thing we can use, but psychedelic things are very, very helpful for when it comes to mental health and yeah, cannabis for cancer and stuff like that, and so many other problems. It's just a blessing. And so, yeah, I showed him how to make his own cannabis medicine and yeah, so many stuff. And on the other side, I got so much support. the more I interacted, the more I shared out of my pure inspiration. I didn't have to share. They never bothered me, my neighbors. No one was bothering me. They didn't wanted to disturb me because they didn't know me. But I opened up, and they got really, really interested. So after a few months, I got so much support, and I kept feeling better, 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 and better. But my environment never changed. It was still the same hammock. It was still the same dirty fucking waterhole with 7 cows drinking and pissing into it. And yeah, but I kept feeling better and better and better. And that's the second part of what I said with how to change your life sustainably, because not out of survival mode, driven by negative emotions, or holding on to negative emotions and feeding them and working and working and working. No, I was letting them go. I let go of all my negative emotions. Of course, I got triggered sometimes, but I didn't stick to it. I was focusing on raising my vibration, and I was feeding myself special thoughts, positive affirmations to harness, to nurture positive emotions. And it attracted people into my life. And I kept feeling better and better. And when I reached my peak of feeling really, really good in this shitty situation, a really, really nice opportunity came my way. I got an offer. I got an offer to move into a house, not on a. I was on this 12-acre property, and I got a offer to live in a house on a 50-acre property with everything, with 20 cows, with 6 hectares of, or like over 10 acres of sugarcane, maize, and manioc. We have had beans and potatoes and everything. Bees, we had honey, and I got my own house with running water, with electricity. Out of nowhere, I didn't have to do anything for it. I didn't have to pay for it. Nothing. It was so fun. Even my neighbors, they cut out the thing which is counting the clock for the electricity, which is how do you, for measuring how much electricity you use. They cut it out for me so that I so that I can use electricity without paying. So much. That was how much my neighbors loved me there. It was so beautiful. And yeah, it was still in the house. It's another story that it was also very hard. I was working like an animal, definitely every day, but out of joy, pure inspiration. And yeah, again, I was living then in this beautiful house, and I still felt like this, yeah, old stuff was triggering me. But I had the evidence of, oh, okay, I keep doing what I do. I keep falling in love with the present moment. I keep falling in love with sitting in the fire. I learned to enjoy sitting in the fire, because that's how you. It's like taking away the oxygen of the fire. You breathe it in, and the fire goes out. The more and again, my journey was like this over and over and over and over again. And the more, the better I felt in shitty situation, the universe came, knocked on my door, and said, "Hey, maybe you could go to this other place. I pay for it." And yeah, and that's not science fiction. That's not. It's true stories. That's true stories. Yeah, can't wait to share another story with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yeah, I guess the video gets too long. If you want to support my channel, hit the like button, and you could write the word inspiration in the comment section. It really would help me out with the comment section. And yeah, sometimes I don't know what to write in the comments, so I'm glad if anyone gives me just one word. You could really support my channel by using the word inspiration. So yeah, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you in the next video.